are in full swing, and the city of San Bruno has a special message from the police department for you.
So I'm Ryan Johansen. I'm a sergeant with the San Bruno Police Department, and I'm currently assigned to the traffic division. So I supervise all things traffic within the city. We definitely see a spike in driving under the influence and impaired driving activities through the holiday season, unfortunately. Normally there's about 10,000 people in this country that are killed by DUI every year, and we can normally see up to 1,000 of those within the month of December alone. If you expand that time frame to include Thanksgiving and to go all the way to New Year's Day, you get upwards of 1,200 people every year who lose their lives to driving under the influence within that time frame. So a definite spike in activity during this window. During the holiday season, you see a big increase in certain activities that contribute to the DUI problem. First of all, the roadways are much busier with traveling people. So as we're coming and going from seeing friends and family and attending holiday festivities and parties, inevitably it means more people on the roads. Now when you couple that with the fact that the celebrations and sort of the nature this time of year also creates an increase in the consumption of alcohol, you sort of have the perfect storm for some unfortunate incidents on the roadways. While the 0.08 blood alcohol content percentage is the limit that we tend to reference and look at in terms of when we're okay to drive or not okay to drive, the reality is that the law states you cannot operate a motor vehicle while impaired by alcohol or other substances. So you don't have to be at a 0.08 to be arrested for DUI or to be charged with the crime if you hit and hurt somebody. So our contention in law enforcement has always been that any amount of alcohol is probably too much to consume and then knowingly drive your vehicle. If you get pulled over by the police and you're determined to be driving while impaired, the very least you can count on is to wear handcuffs, sit in the back of a police car, and end up going to either jail or a sobering facility. The aftermath of that is going to include fines of up to $10,000 of your hard-earned money, a suspended license for a period of probably at least a year, and now with new legislation, the placement of an interlock device in your vehicle for an indefinite period of time. So even if you don't hurt someone or yourself, you're still looking at some pretty severe consequences to being DUI and caught. God forbid you should hurt someone while driving impaired. There's a high likelihood you're going to be charged with a felony crime, which is going to follow you along for the rest of your life. One thing that's really kind of exciting about trying to combat DUI in today's environment is that we have a multitude of alternative options to driving impaired, things that didn't exist even 5 years ago. So you obviously have the simple ideas of designating a sober driver, calling a taxi, or using public transit. But now we've added to the alternatives to impaired driving very simple and easy services like Uber and Lyft. And really, in my opinion, this puts us in a place where there's no excuse for driving impaired anymore. It's as simple as pushing a few buttons on your phone to arrange to have a sober and safe driver pick you up and take you to your destination without taking any chance of hurting somebody or ending up in jail. So the San Bruno Police Department is well aware of the increase in DUI activity that comes with the holiday season, and we respond accordingly. So in addition to our normal patrol activities, which of course patrol officers are always on the lookout for impaired drivers, during this time of year we will also engage in 2 other proactive activities in an effort to thwart some of the DUI stuff that's going on. So among those will be what we call DUI saturation patrols, which basically constitutes putting out 1 or more officers during periods of time where we know there's a concentration of impaired drivers on the roadways, with the specific focus of identifying and apprehending impaired drivers. On top of those activities, during this holiday season, we will host at least 1 DUI checkpoint. The checkpoints are good for pulling impaired drivers off the roads, but they really are also very effective in terms of public education. And so it gives us an opportunity to communicate directly with usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 drivers, talk to them about the dangers of DUI and the alternatives to driving while impaired. With the multitude of alternatives to driving impaired nowadays, why even take the chance? If you're going to have any amount of alcohol at all as part of your holiday plans, just arrange to have someone who's not partaking drive your car.
Thank you, Sergeant. All it takes is a little planning ahead. Designate a sober driver, call a cab or one of the rideshare companies. But whatever you do, please don't drink and drive.